time. I told y'all on Mad Day, the freaks come out during the day, during the night, and the afternoon. On Mad Day, is China not spilling all the tea? But for some of us, we already know this. Half the stuff we have was made in China. But baby, this tariff war, China's saying, okay, y'all want to play? Trump, you trying to play these games and tiddlywinks and tricks is for kids? And you know what? The sad thing about this, all these tariff wars, I think people who don't understand tariffs, they really need to go back and read what a tariff is and who pays for that. It's us, the consumer. It's us, the consumer. And then you also need to go back in history and look at stuff. If you don't know your history, you repeat the same thing in a negative, adverse way. But you also have to look at what kind of circumstances and consequences happens when there are tariff wars. It leads to actual war. But we pray and we ain't speaking that into existence. But let me tell you something, baby. China is pulling back the curtain. And see, that's what I'm saying. When this type of stuff happens between two power nations, baby, they start pulling back the curtain and showing all they behind. And so, again, the sad part about all this mess that's going on, ultimately, it's the small businesses, it's consumers. We're the collateral damage. We are directly yet indirectly affected by this. It affects all of us. And I feel horrible. I've got friends, I have acquaintances, they're literally having to shut their businesses down, or they're literally now having to not sell certain products and make a living for themselves and their family because they're no longer able to afford to buy these products from foreign and abroad. And they're not willing to mark up in great percentages to their customers. So again, it's one thing if you do something that benefits as a whole, but guess what? For every action, there's a what? Equal or opposite reaction. So I got tickled. I thought, but again, for most of us, we already should know this. But when it's these brands and these persons, but now I think everybody was aware of this, and even the more when that mess. Remember when everybody dogged out and got on Michael Jordan about them tennis shoes, and how they do those tennis shoes, and it might cost, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a number, $10 for them to make it, but then when it comes over here and they sell it, they charging people $200 and $300 for a pair of Air Jordans, and half these kids have come from households they can't afford that, so folks was standing in line, folks done got unalived and all that kind of stuff behind stuff like that. So we knew back then, for those of us who were paying attention, a lot of that stuff is made right there in China. But it's something how China is pulling back, say, okay, y'all want to do me one, we're going to make it be accessible for everybody. And how about they spilled the tea saying, the reason why you're paying what? $15,000, $5,000, $6,000 for a Birkin purse or a Chanel purse is because it's made in China, but the tag, see, on Mad Day, on Mad Day, see, they'll tell all the business on Mad Day, and isn't that the truth for life? Period. The person you laid down with said, I do too. We'll be with each other forever to the end of time. The same person that made you laugh and made you smile, made you feel all giddy one day on Mad Day, they'll be the worst nightmare you ever thought about then. But I tell you what, they said, look, that little tag, that's what you're paying for. And of course, that's what you're paying for, a brand name. That's what you're paying for, the name. But yeah, that product, those expensive Birkin bags and this and that and the other, yeah, they're made right here in China. But when we ship them over there to Italy and Paris and wee la la places, they put that leather tag brand name on the inside of that purse that says made in Italy. Yeah, that tag that they put in that pocketbook is made from Italy. Thus, they can say made from Italy. And they sold that into the purse that was made over there in China for what, about $50-$60 or however. Again, I'm just throwing out a number. But then they can put almost a 500 increase for us, the consumer, to purchase. And again, if you're a person who like name brands, you're going to pay for it. You don't care if it's made on the same assembly line as whatever other purse. It's probably the same material. They may do a little bit more meticulous, whatever. Because we also know the difference between quality and cheap. We all know that too as well. But baby, them Chinese manufacturers, they say, okay, y'all want to cut off our money? Okay, we're going to make it be where everybody can get there. And we're going to tell you exactly how they're made, when they're made, and how all of it go down. Baby, they don't pull back what? The veil. Now, of course, the people that's paying all this money for us, they're upset. They're mad. Because now it's being exposed that, guess what? It's made out of the same material on the same line as these other ones. Yeah. But I tell you, on Mad Day, but like I said, if you are already woke and open and got your mind open, half the stuff we get from toys and anything, look it up, made in China. Absolutely. China is one that the continent of Asia is one of the biggest multi-producing, multifaceted, multi-creating of commerce, material, anything you can think of, manufacturing. Yeah, they are the biggest. Not the only, but they are the biggest. And it just is what it is. But like I said, it's something. On Mad Day, and like I said, we can ooh and ah and sensationalize about all, this big thing that's now done been revealed about these expensive handbags and any other kind of stuff. On Mad Day, baby, one thing you'll learn in life, people that you sin with or that you in bed with, on Mad Day, they'll eventually sin against you. And you can cold believe that. And like I said, I am praying daily for our administration. This is not going to end well. And like I said, the American people are the ones who are being suffering, and it's affecting. It may not have hit your household directly or even indirectly yet, but you give it some time. Stuff that we're used to. And then I think about all the freight forwarders, from one day it's like a ping pong ball. One day it's 125% tariff. Then the next day it's 145% tariff. Then it's just the next day. So now you got freight forwarders and shippers out here hauling this merchandise from port to port. It's a nightmare for them. It's a nightmare because those people have to be paid. And with this tariff war going on, they don't know from what one day to the next what they're supposed to be charging. So stuff is just gonna sit out there, almost like what happened. Remember when COVID hit? This affects people. This affects businesses, and especially small businesses. And so, like I said, baby, it's something to see on Mad Day. And who else knows what's going to be revealed? And people also have to realize, yes, United States are a superpower, and we have military bases and embassies all throughout this world. But also know that the United States only accounts for 5 or 6% of the world's population. So there's a whole nother world out there. But anyway, I just thought, I'm just sitting back, and I'm just praying. I thought, my God, look at this. And I'm telling you, this is why the word, when it says, for the love, I want y'all to hear this, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So what kinds of evil? Baby, secrets are going to be revealed. Tea is going to be spilled. On Mad Day, when you start, I'm telling you, when you start fooling around with folks, money, that money, baby, let me tell you something. On Mad Day, anyway, like I said, y'all, pray without ceasing, because this thing will trickle down. For those of us who are familiar with economics, macro and microeconomics, supply, demand, how that thing can have repercussions, irreversible repercussions, and damage that sometimes can't even be recovered because too much loss has been occurred. But anyway, y'all, I am praying for this administration, for the president to think about this. This power thing, this power struggle. You have to be thinking about how this is affecting the American people. You have to. And like I said, it's not important to you until it happens to you. When things start happening to your stuff in your household, then it becomes important. So, again, pray without ceasing, y'all. Oh, y'all, I wanted to show y'all all the free stuff I got from Estee Lauder. So, I purchased the powder and the foundation. This is the double wear. And it is excellent. That's what I wore today, but I forgot to tell y'all. But anyway, it goes on beautifully. Okay. But these two is what I purchased. And I also purchased this pencil sharpener. She said this works best with their pencils. So now I got this, which is a color palette. Hold on. Okay, this is a sculpting blush. So you get 3 of those. So I'll blend these with my darker shades, okay? I also got a Take It Away. And all their stuff for cleansing their makeup and your face smells wonderful. So I got some of this, okay, makeup remover. Then I got a nice size bottle of toner. Again, now what I'm showing you now was all free. Free with purchase, okay? Okay, that again, this is what I bought. The pressed powder, foundation, and the pencil sharpener. She gave me 2 free eyeliners. These are what I love. One of these is $32. So she hooked me up and gave me 2. How about that? Free. Then some, let me see what this is. Okay, well, that's what that is. That also came in the free purchase. mascara. Look at this pretty lipstick color. And that's the color on it. Okay. Free. Beautiful. It's like a pale or mauve pink. Y'all already know I'm all about my pinks. And this is a lip liner in this pretty much the same shade. And that is a full lip liner. Is that not awesome? Wanted to show y'all this. This side has a brush. And this is the lip liner color. Isn't that pretty? And of course, the makeup bag. Yes. Yes! I wanted to show y'all that. My hips and my thighs are on fire, y'all. Alright, y'all, I gotta grab me some creamer. Alright, y'all, I'm getting me some navel oranges. And I ain't never heard or have ever tried ambrosia apples. You have to check the bag, make sure you ain't got no rotten ones when they be in them plastic bags like that. But I'm gonna have to try them. I never tried them before. I'm sure they all taste the same. Alright, y'all, I have hit the jackpot. These apples, these ambrosia apples that I just got, winner. Oh my gosh. Of course it tastes like an apple, but the texture of them are nice and crispy. They're nice and sweet. It almost has a mixed taste of like an apple and a pear type flavor. I mean, I'm being serious, y'all. It is so good. The word of the week is fabulous. They're just fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Y'all need to get you some. Why can y'all ain't tell me about ambrosia apple?